Alrighty, hi everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to make a card from ground up. So we're going to just pick a design from Adobe stock or any other source, and I will be showing you how to create the card from the beginning and how to prepare the data with it. And without any further ado, let's just jump right in. So first of all, once we logged in to our VZUAL account, we'll create a new project, and I'm gonna call this one first online demo. Gonna put in some description, first demo card for YouTube. Click save, and I can jump right in, and here we are. So we start off with just a blank white card basically, and on the left hand side you have all of the main tabs for design, our material library, and objects and scenes and so on and so on. But we'll stick with the design first, and you'll notice that on the left hand side, so this is the cockpit, we have a left cockpit and a right cockpit. On the left cockpit, it works basically like layers in Illustrator or Photoshop or InDesign. So if you're familiar with the Adobe package, you will like the way this works. On the right hand side, we can change all the values of a particular layer. And we're basically building the card layer by layer like you would in an actual card factory. So let's go to, I'm gonna go to Adobe stock and probably just pick a nice background. Let's see, we can do what are we gonna say? Retro background. Let's make one retro card. Let me see what else they have. Let's go with vintage background, maybe. I like the ones before. I don't know, maybe beach. Let's make a beach card. Oh, that one looks nice. Yeah, they look nice. I'm gonna take these. And alright, wonderful. So I'm going to jump into Illustrator, start a new file, and I'm gonna make it just exactly the same size as a credit card for the design. And let's see where we got it in my downloads, and here we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. And for the front page, I'll probably just take this one. Take this one out. Oh no, actually I'm gonna keep this one in. I like that. Yeah. Grab this, grab that. Here we go. Ooh, that's big. Let's make this one a bit smaller. I'm gonna flip it around. Put this one over here for now. And drag this one all the way to the sides of the card. Alright, so this one looks pretty good. Pretty neat for the beginning. And I will actually export this right away as an image, because we're working with a rastered image, and I'll be exporting this with 3000 pixels for now. So let's see, we will put this into a, and here we go. So we got this one, and we're back in here. So here we're going to add the map to this particular layer. I'm just going to call it the CMYK litho layer. going to add a color texture, the one that we just created. And online demo, here we go. And boom, here it is. So we got our first layer, CMYK layer on here. Going back to Illustrator, and let's say I want a specific one. What are we going to do next? We're going to add some embellishment. Let's say we're glitter. I want to do some glitter, and I'll take this orangey. Let's see if I can take this one out here. Actually, it's not so easy. Ooh, that's the mask. Yeah, here we go. So it's this guy here. Whoopsie. Like that. Perfect. So let's say I want to do silk screen silver metallic underprint. So we need to create a mask, basically a stencil like you would with a normal print. So if you do a normal stencil for silk screen or litho, whatever other embellishment, you would need to tint it all in black and then impose it on the sheet, right? And this is what we're going to do right now. So we're going to tint this whole thing completely in black, just like this. I'm going to call this silk screen. Okay, and I'm going to export again. And here we go. Silk screen. Wonderful. And now let's take another shot on something else. Let's see. No, we're gonna keep it for this. We're gonna keep it for now. So I'm going to add another layer. I'm gonna call this one silk screen. And now I'm going to choose a material from my library. So if I click here on the material library, there's a whole bunch of presets and materials. So there are categories like holograms and screen print metallics and so on and so on. So there's one, for example, silk screen metallics. I'm gonna just pick one and load it so you see how it looks like. And basically it shows like a swatch book of materials. You have inside the card, the material tab. When you switch it, you will have a black and a white half, basically literally like in a swatch book, so that you can see the transparency of a particular ink or pigment. And clicking on that gold, you can actually see how, for example, this particular one, it's not 100% opaque, so it's not even covering the black completely. So we try to make it as realistic as anyhow possible. And that means, by the way, that you can zoom in all the way to that tiny little particle and see how it's laying in there. You can define your own materials, particle sizes, distribution, and so on and so on. We have pearls, we have all kinds of different materials available here. Same for holograms and so on. So I'm going to pick a wonderful, nice screen print material. Not the pearl, sorry, that was my mistake. Yeah, let's take this silver metallic. And as you can already see, this is like an overprint now. I would be overprinting this on top of the litho and already have the right effect. But what we want to do is we want to add a mask, a stencil, the one that we created. So here we go. And oh yeah, I have to invert it. So there's a little invert button, so no worries. Oh yeah, here we go. That looks nice. And I'm going to send this layer down there and put the top layer to overprint. And boom, here we have our wonderful overprint, litho overprint over that leaf. So we have that golden leaf on there. I like that a lot, actually. That looks pretty good. And so the next thing, what could we do? The next thing would be probably to add a let's say an overlay. I'm going to add an overlay, and I want to do a glossy overlay. So I'm going back to my material library. I'm going to the overlays and picking overlay, a glossy overlay. And here we go. We see a fantastic shiny glossy overlay on top of our card, and how that would look like. Then what else are we going to do? We're going to add a chip. So let's say I'm going to add a chip. Again, I'm going back to my library, and we have several different chips to choose from. I'm just going to take this one. Oh yeah, here we go. Nice big chip. So it's going to be a credit card or maybe an ID card or something like that. Okay, so what else? I want to add a logo. I want to add a logo on top of it. So let's put a hot foiling logo on top of our card. Here we are. Pick my logo, put that one up here, and put that over there. Oh yeah, that looks good. And again, I'm just gonna save this one as a mask. Cool. That looks good. Okay, put this one here. Logo. And this time, oopsie, I'm going to choose a hot foiling. And I want to take a shiny color. So we're going to start off with this blue. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with this, but we'll take a look. I'll take that logo here. Oh yeah, invert it. And we have our hot foiling on top of it. And we wanna, I'm gonna change this roughness a little bit so it's a bit more shiny. But it's still very flat, right? So we're gonna add a little bit of height to it, or actually like an indent. I'm gonna use that same mask for the actual indent. I'm just gonna add a little bit depth. Oh, here we go. And you can already see that it's like indented inside of the card, like a real hot stamping. If I wanted to, for example, not do a hot stamping, but a digital foiling, like you would do with a digital foiler like Scodex or anything like that, with a inkjet underneath the foil, we can do the same thing. So we can just invert that height map and add a little blur. Here we go, and this is how it would look like with the digital foiling on top. I don't want to change that color to I don't know, maybe something a bit more fitting into this. Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. Summery. Looks a lot like summer. Okay, that looks pretty neat. So let's go to the back side. Going to that back side again. I'm gonna pick, I don't know, let's take this one. I'll pick this one. Just gonna add another new layer again. Transform this whole thing to make it a bit smaller because it's way too, yeah, where did you go? Here did you go? That here. And this way we can design a card right on the fly. Like if you allow your customers to use the software, or if you're a designer by yourself, that's the easiest way to understand embellishments and all the effects, how they work together. So very cool for making digital prototyping. Here we go, backside. Going to the back of the card, so I toggled from front to back. And here I will add a new layer. Add a new layer. Go like that. Yeah. Add the, what we call the CMYK, and add that background that I just did. Awesome. Looks good. It's maybe a bit strong, maybe. It's a bit strong. Let me change that. Let me just make it a little bit more dull, so it's not so dominant. Okay, that looks better. Yeah, that looks better. That looks better. So it's not screaming at us like that. Okay. And I'm going to replace this one again. So I can just replace the image very quickly. And here we go. So we got that covered here. And on the back side, let's say I want to add a glitter. So I'm going to pick a pigment like which one? Maybe Charisma, Sunstreak. Let's see. Oh yeah, that one looks nice, I guess. Gives it a nice shimmer. I don't know if you can see the pigments. There you go. Or maybe a different one. This is not. So you can see actually that if you zoom in, you can actually see the pigments, but you can see the effect on the litho print. If you zoom out, it's not as big or not as intense as you might think. This helps a lot with designing a card to actually see how is it going to look like on my design. And I'm actually a bit surprised that it's not that strong on that color. So I'll be picking something else. Maybe this one. That one looks a bit better. So this is like a bluish. It's got a bluish tint to it. It gives it a nice shimmer. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Okay, and then I'm going to add again an overlay on top of it. And I'm gonna call this. Oh, oops! I overwrote it. Sorry about that. Going right back. There we go. And then the overlay. Overlay. Name it overlay. And assign the material. And here we go. And we're going to add a mag stripe. Mag stripe. And guess what? We have these also in our portfolio. Looks like a summer card. Ooh, that's a shiny, bright, metallic mag stripe. So you can set your materials, all of the assets that you have in your company that you use with mag stripes, and inks, and chips, pigments, all that stuff can be done here. The next is I'm going to add a signature panel. I'm gonna add this signature panel that, of course, I also have in here. Signature panels. Here we go. And last but not least, I'm going to add a hologram. So holograms, Yeah, that looks good. That looks pretty neat. Maybe I can add a bit of a text layer. So if you do like a white litho text, or if you a knockout, this is what you can do. I'm just gonna take this one in white. Here we go. And this one would be on top of the overlay. So I would be sending this one back all the way down underneath the overlay. Whoop, and you see it got a bit darker because the overlay has its own color. And here we go. And you can, because I masked the text out, I can actually change the color to anything else I would love, I'd like to. So I can put this one in a screaming orange, and ooh, okay, this would not work. This will probably not work too well. Maybe something like this, or yeah, actually, that looks pretty good. It's got a nice contrast to it. Okay, cool. So, oh yeah, the edge, we can do edge coloring. So I can switch to edge, click on the edge, and add a color texture to it. I'll just pick a color. So I'm gonna take a vibrant summer color like this. Ooh, I like that. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good to me. And so yeah, we're ready. We just created a card from scratch with templates for texts and signature panels and mag stripes and holograms that you can show. And if you want, you can even add a little bit of drama to the whole scene. So we're going to do this right now. I'm going to go to the Scenes tab, where we can choose different lightings and backgrounds, so you can play around with lights, with ambient lights and so on. I'm going to add a sunlight, for example, here, a straight sunlight all the way from the left. And we can even tint this into a, for example, bluish color, like that. And we can add another one, maybe from the right side, make this one a warm color, something like that. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. And if you want to add a background, which we're going to do right now, and I'm going to pick a nice indoor room on a sunny day. We're using HDR maps for this, and you can either choose a solid color or a gradient color or anything else to show your card, to add a nice scene to it, so that you can actually view how the card would look like in real life. Yeah, that's it. So we can go back to the design, and now we can even add a wiggle animation to it so that it reflects the pigments of the screen print or the foiling, the chip, the hologram, and so on. Or you can just click on rotate and set the speed of this whole thing. Or you can, by the way, also explode view the card. Like if you have a slider here that will show you each layer of what we did. So to show a customer what it actually means to create a card, that's a fantastic way to make them understand how complex that product actually is. So we're going to go back. I'm going to use the rotation, and I can now create a link for sharing. So I can create multiple links. I will call this one the visual first online demo card. I can set a password if I want to, but I'm not going to do that right now. I can add a description, add an expiry date if you want to, and set the link type to static or dynamic. What does that mean? Static means it will freeze all of the settings that we did in this card. So I'm going to do this right now so that everyone can see the same thing. Or you can set it to dynamic so that if you make a change, it will actually update the link in the background. I can show variations, versions, comments. I'll just disable all of this. I will enable panning and zooming and rotation. I will enable the snapshot. I will enable full screen and animation control. Yeah, and that's it. I'm just going to copy this link and switch the tab and actually just open a new tab and show you that link. So we're going to load the link and here we go. So you don't need a very strong computer. This runs actually on any browser, on your smartphone. All you need is a good internet connection because it does have heavy maps loading in the background. But other than that, that's it. And now you can send that link to your customer for preview or internal design approval, and yeah, and have fun with it. So as you can see, the tool is really powerful. We just took it just a couple minutes, like 20 minutes or something, half an hour, to make a design completely from scratch and understand how all of the effects and embellishments work together inside a card. And that's only the beginning. We can do so many more things. We can create holograms, we can create other assets, specific inks, security inks. All of that can be shown in the Visual 3D Card Studio. And if you liked it, if you want to have your own demo, I will post a link down in the description where you can book a demo with your own design. If you have any more questions, just get in touch with us. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to subscribe for the newsletter if you want to stay in the loop and see what's coming up next. So the link again is down in the description. I hope you enjoyed the video. I wish you all a great day. Have fun. Take care. Bye.